All right, I've eaten my lunch. I've spent some time with Steve. It's time to take a look at what else is coming out of the news from D&D Direct, the half an hour, 45-minute, not live streamed event that just took place that is reshaping everything we think we know about Wizards of the Coast with tons of news. So here's some more news in the rundown. Obviously, I have started with the most exciting story and is slowly working down to the less exciting stories and finally the oh god really stories. And I have a feeling as more and more information comes to us from this tomorrow and throughout the week, any excitement we might have had regarding the announcement of the Dragonlance movie will be overshadowed by our continuing disappointment in Wizards of the Coast. As always, I can use this as a moment to, again, my theory regarding the multiple universes that Wizards of the Coast exists in. Because in some universe, somewhere on a piece of paper, every choice Wizards of the Coast has made since they purchased Dungeons & Dragons makes sense. There is some internal logic to their nonsense. Unfortunately, when that solid kernel of good idea leaves the universe that it is germinated in and comes to our universe, it passes through the dimension of stupid. So the good ideas that are sitting there in that little pocket plane come to Wizards of the Coast, go through the Wizards of the Coast, and then come spewing out of Crawford's mouth, and we get the idiocy that we have seen since, 3.5. So any excitement or whatever that we might have about this, we should take with a grain of salt. And remember that this is still Wizards of the Coast. So no matter how good it sounds on paper, we know we will inevitably be disappointed. And the people who will be the most disappointed are the people who still invest in Wizards of the Coast and play. Because pound for pound, most of the complaints that we get about D&D these years are not from people like me, because we stopped caring, but from 5e players. 5e players are the ones who are already complaining about this announcement, and it's not even an hour old. So let's take a look. Oh, by the way, this picture, this Wizards of the Coast exclusive picture, yeah, this is from World of Warcraft. So you're going to get in trouble for that. That's literally a ripoff of a scene in World of Warcraft, guys. All right, so in case you didn't know, Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford are still apparently alive. And all the projects going forward that are coming out of Wizards of the Coast by the end of 2023 will all be centered around the multiverse of Dungeons & Dragons. Is that a big surprise to anybody? They've only been talking about it forever, but no. All right, so we know that Big Bees Presents The Glories of Giants is coming out. Phandelver and Below, The Shattered Obelisk, will explore the mysterious obelisk that has been appearing in adventures over the past 9 years. That's right, since 2014, they started this storyline regarding the mysterious obelisks that appear in almost every adventure since the Mines of Phandelver, and that were never, ever followed up from. But finally, they're going to. And how are they going to do this? Well, they're going to do it through Planescape, and they're going to do Vecna. Yes, Vecna will be the cosmic horror that infests Phandelver and Planescape, and the big bad of 2024 will be Vecna, because he's making his return, because he's been gone. He's been gone from D&D for so long, and now they've announced the big secret that he's coming back. Not a secret to anybody, because you've been hinting at this for the past 9 years. Vecna has appeared in multiple products over the past 9 years. So, yeah, so Vecna's coming up and will be the major bad guy to introduce 2024 6th edition. So I guess they're going to be destroying the Forgotten Realms to give us a whole new realms based around Phandelver, and it'll all do with Vecna. They're claiming they're going to have interconnected storytelling going forward, even though for the past 9 years, Crawford has said there will be no more storytelling in D&D because there's no canon, there's no interconnectedness. Each one stands by itself because they are system world agnostic. and there's no canon. But now I guess they've said, no, we're going to have interconnected storytelling going forward. For example, the Red Wizards of Thay will be around in 2024 and 2025. And Venger from the D&D cartoon might show up as an antagonist in a further adventure. Because I guess Wizards of the Coast and Disney and the guy have come to some temporary agreement regarding the use of these images that are copyright Disney and Wizards of the Coast. And yeah, so because we've always wanted to see Venger statted out and used as a D&D villain, so you can do to him what you've done to every other. Hey, Venger Satanis, did you know you were going to be in a D&D adventure, buddy? Congratulations. I'm sure you must both be excited. And the League of Malevolence, who first were introduced in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, will seek power across the multiverse. So that means we'll be seeing more of Warduke in gang. Yay! Can never be sad if Warduke shows up. And then we got this picture, which I guess is supposed to be people bringing stuff to Our Lady of Sigil, even though this picture is directly stolen from World of Warcraft. So yes, here we go. Our major villain 2024 going forward is maybe going to be Venger, or maybe Vecna, or maybe not, because it's Wizards of the Coast, so take anything they say with a grain of salt. And there's going to be interconnected storytelling, despite the fact for the past 9 years they've been telling us they weren't going to do that anymore. And Phandelver and Planescape are going to be the main center of the Wizards of the Coast interconnected storylines going forward. Maybe. And they've already planned out to 2027. Where D&D 6X is still scheduled to be released in 2027. 2027 also being the year that Hasbro said Wizards of the Coast needs to make $1 billion a year every year starting 2023 and go to 2027, because if they don't make $1 billion every year by 2027, Hasbro is going to rethink Wizards of the Coast. So it's interesting that Crawford has said, well, we have things planned out for the next 5 years. Because that would be 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. Wait, you have till 2027 to make a certain amount of money or you're gone. In fact, Wizards of the Coast is already looking to replace you, Crawford. Wow, really? And then on the Hasbro calendar, June 2027, D&D 6X. Wow! And you have everything planned out for the next 5 years, and it all centers around Phandelver, Planescape, Vecna, who has come back. Wow! And there's going to be interconnected storytelling, even though you've consistently said for the past 9 years there will be no more interconnected storytelling. Interesting. So all we can take out from the end of this is nothing that Wizards of the Coast Representative Jeremy Crawford or Chris Perkins says can be considered factual. And 2, hey, they're both still alive. So there you go. We'll have more news as the day progresses and the week progresses, and we'll be continuing to start talking about this. And I'm sure the misrepresentation and the misinformation fountain is already spewing, and if it haven't yet, by the end of the day, the shallow end of the 5e pool will sputter to the surface and start vomiting out incorrect news that we will have to then go, no, that is literally not what they said. And you cannot take anything Crawford and Perkins says as fact. It is nebulous facts. It is insubstantial. Anything they say should just be treated as a fever dream until you actually see it.